Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 29 of the Overnight Feed recaps for Big Brother Season 25. All right, it's Thursday. Y'all know what that means. Live episode tonight. An eviction's going to take place. We should be losing either Jag or Blue, but we do have that immunity twist that's sitting out there that could throw a kink in the plan. So let's talk about that before we talk about the live feeds themselves. Apparently, there was some discussion about who maybe got to compete in the competition, the top four to begin with, who actually won the competition. We've got a little bit more clarification now about who played, but more importantly, who won the thing. And we think we know who it is. Apparently, Matt did get picked as one of the top four players to get to play in the competition. And apparently he won. Yes, indeed. Now, this is coming by way of Cirie talking to Jared, passing this information on that Matt had told her. But apparently Matt won, and we have a little bit more info about the way the twist itself works, this immunity. Apparently, he has to declare in the diary room by this morning whether or not he wants to use the power, and if he does, which of these two he wants to save. If that person ends up getting evicted, then instead of going home, or at least out the door, they would be safe. The whole week would basically reset, brand new HOH that everyone could compete in, and we start over again. Helps them get to that day number 100 if this power is actually used. Kind of rough for Cameron, who ends up with an HOH that does nothing if no one goes home. But that's how it works. If the power is used and picks the wrong person who is not evicted, then the power basically resets, and Matt would get to hold on to it for another week and try to use it instead, or next week instead. Now, again, all of this came by way of Cirie telling Jared what Matt had supposedly told her. I think that's right. I don't have any reason to suspect it. I know during my season when Christy had that power veto, diamond power veto, hated that thing. I screwed my HOH up. It was the same type situation. She had to declare by, I think, 11 o'clock in the morning in the diary room. So I suspect that's what's happening here. Now, the big question, is Matt going to use it? Nah, I can't see him using it on either one of these two. I don't think the power is going to be used this week. Matt's going to hold on to it just in case he needs to save someone next week instead. So I fully expect one of these two to go home. Right now, it's looking like Jag is probably going to be evicted this evening. We'll see if that's still the case with this cast this season. Who knows? Who knows? All right, let's talk about the feeds themselves as we get into it. First of all, let's start off with Felicia talking to Izzy. Not overnight. This is actually earlier yesterday, but I thought it was important to mention. Felicia is talking to Izzy and saying, look, I talked to Cirie earlier. Now, remember, Cirie and Felicia maybe aren't on the best of terms, but they're still talking with each other. Felicia's telling Izzy that she talked to Cirie about maybe what they would expect or want their final six to be. So they're moving past pre-jury, starting to look a little bit more towards end games, mid games, etc. And Felicia has mentioned that there are 7 girls left. And if they were to get rid of Bowie Jane, God, everyone is so just going on and on about Bowie Jane. They did call her out, not to her face, but they've decided that there's no way she's 34 or whatever she said. I think Felicia said, hey, she's 45. So she called it exactly. They also don't think she's a DJ, which she is. But doesn't matter. Felicia saying, look, if we get rid of Bowie, that leaves 6 girls left. And, final 6, all women, I could run with that, Felicia's saying, and Izzy's seeming to agree. Now, if Felicia's talking about that, a final 6, well, that final 6 includes Blue here, so obviously we know where Felicia's lying in terms of maybe who she wants to get rid of this evening. So there has been discussion about an all-female final 6. We'll see if they can get to that point. I don't see the trust staying around that long. I just don't see it happening, but hey, let's see what happens with it. All right. We did have, being Wednesday, campaign day for those who want to stay in the house. One person doing quite a bit of campaigning. The other person, not so much. Not so much at all. So Jag certainly did continue to campaign. He starts off, he's talking to Cirie and Felicia, really laying out some good points, I think. He's saying that he will fight for them. He won't turn his back on them, that he's a competitor. that if he wins vetoes, he'll actually use it to support his team and not just himself. And he also points out, says, look, if I stay, I'm a target. They're going to continue. The other side's going to continue to try to come after me. Whereas Blue, she'll just get up as a pawn. No one really wants to waste an HOH on Blue. So they're going to be going after bigger fish. If I'm in here, I'm the bigger fish. So keep that in mind. He uses a great term for Cirie and Felicia, or to Cirie and Felicia. He says, look, I'm both a shield and a sword for you guys. I love it. I think that's fantastic. But he mentions that. He also tells them, says, look, Corey is open to keeping me. If he knows, and if America knows that we've got your votes, they're fine keeping me. So guys, please consider keeping me. I think Jag's doing a good job with his pitch and trying to very logically lay out why it makes sense to hold on to him. Later, though, we've got Cirie and Izzy are playing pool. Cirie is kind of talking about what was said. Izzy is just not on board to save Jag. She is ready to get him out the door. So she's just not really receptive to it. Her big worry is what happens after they get Red and Cameron out. Izzy's assuming that they'll go after these two guys next. Once they get them out the door, she's worried about where Jag goes after that. Would he go with Corey and America and the other side instead of staying loyal to them? So she's just not certain that she wants a strong comp threat left in the house if she doesn't know 100% which way he's going to go on down the road. So seems like that's her concern. She is saying to Cirie that, I'm not really big into keeping Jag, but at least as of last night, Felicia wasn't either. So, Cirie, it's not quite it's not as easy as you think it is. So we've got that. Izzy is also mentioning, Cirie asked something about Corey, says, Corey mentioning my name. And Izzy says, no, Corey still seems solid. He's still talking about a Final Four. He seems on board with it. So Corey is doing what he can to soothe things over. And there was some lack of trust and things with Corey, but he's trying to fix that as best he can. And Izzy saying, he's talking about our Final Four. So seems like he's still with us. All right, we've got Jared and Jag talking a little bit. Jared, I thought this was very interesting. Jared is talking to Jag. Jag's campaigning to him. And Jared's saying, look, Blue and I are not girlfriend-boyfriend. It's a showmance. They call it a showmance, not girlfriend-boyfriend. And he says, I'm kind of over it. And if I need to save you, Jag, in order to help get out Red and Cameron, then I'm probably okay with it. So the honeymoon is over, I guess. Jared is ready to move on. It sounds like, certainly at least when he's talking to Jag, seems like suddenly now he's on board. Now he was pretty vocal earlier in the week that he wanted Jag gone, but I don't know if he's just saying that to Jag's face because he doesn't want to avoid conflict and such, or if he truly now is thinking that they may need Jag if they're going to go up against Red and Cameron. I don't really know where Jared's leaning just yet, but at least to Jag, he's saying he's ready to cut his old showmance loose. I'm not buying it. I say I don't know which way he's going. I'm not buying it. I think it's just an act for Jag. All right, we've got America also doing her part to kind of pitch for Jag. Now, remember, Corey at one point had said, don't stick your neck out for trying to save other people. But America is trying to pitch for Jag. She's talking to Cirie and Izzy. She's saying, look, Blue doesn't have any kind of pitch, any kind of campaign. Every time I try to talk to her, she's just talking about makeup. That is all that she'll talk about. Hadn't campaigned about at all. She's also mentioning that, Blue has told me she's all about empowerment, that she is not going to ride Jared's coattails to the end of this game, and that she'll nominate him if she needs to. If she thinks it benefits her to get rid of Jared, she will certainly do that. So America is certainly trying to do what she can to villainize Blue somewhat. And a lot of people are using this idea that Blue's not campaigning the same way last week they tried, almost flipped on Cameron saying, oh, he didn't pack. He's too cocky. Let's get rid of him. They're kind of saying the same thing or implying the same thing with Blue, that she's not campaigning. How cocky could she be that she's not even bothering to do that? So let's get rid of her for that reason. I feel like that's kind of what America is implying and a few others. So America's certainly doing her part to try to save Jag. All right, we've got Jag pitching now to Izzy. Remember, Izzy doesn't really want to hold on to Jag, but Jag's pitching to her and saying, look, Corey and America are on board. They've said that they will vote to save me as long as you and Felicia and Cirie are on board as well. And he tells Izzy, says, look, I'm not aligned with Cory and America. I'm not doing anything with them. Yeah, I'd love to get their votes, but I'm aligned with the 7 deadly sins, of which you and I are both part of. Not Cory and America. You got to know, this is the way I'm going, Izzy. So he's certainly trying to get her on board as well. All right, we've got Matt and Cirie and Izzy talking to each other. Matt is worried that things could get scary if they try and save Jag. And I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that, just trying to gather all the votes. Perhaps I think part of it is the fact that Matt feels like he's kind of this double agent working with Red and Cameron and Bowie. And if they turn against Red and Cameron, expose that there's this division in the alliance, that suddenly Matt's kind of torn between the two. And so, yeah, I see a lot of implications for Matt if this thing doesn't go the way Red and Cameron want. If they don't play along and act like it's still one big happy Legend 25 alliance. So Matt's worried what would happen if they try to save Jag. Izzy is still worried about Red and Cameron, what happened, or at least what happens after those two are gone, which way Jag goes. So she's not really buying what Jag said, that he's in with 7 deadly sins over that. All right, we've got what's that? BB in the bathroom alone saying, Blue is in the bathroom. Spell check. Blue's in the bathroom alone saying, yeah, Jared maybe was right when he said that we are the worst Big Brother players. I'm not arguing. I'll just leave that hanging out there. It was kind of like a slow pitch softball. Yeah, she's suggesting it, and I may be agreeing with you, Blue. We'll see. Jared is going on and on about Cory while he's talking to Izzy and Felicia. Just talking about how selfish he is, how he's playing the game for no one but himself. He's just a piece of bleep, and just Jared really, I don't know if he's trying to distance himself from Cory as a way to pull himself closer to Izzy and Felicia, that he doesn't want them to think that he's too tight with Cory. Not sure what's going on, but Jared just suddenly is really throwing Cory under the bus at this point in time. All right, let's talk about the TV episode a little bit that aired last night. Just a couple of quick points. First of all, that veto competition, I thought it was really cool. A cool set, a cool competition. The way you had to balance the weights, had to spell out the word. I think it was one of the better competitions I've seen in a while. I would have had fun playing that one. That would have been great. I think I would have done well, but I would have had fun playing that competition. But can I just say, Jared should be absolutely ashamed at how horrible he played that game. I wish they'd put up his time, because I'm sure it was in double digits and then some. There's not that many letters. It's not that hard, I wouldn't think, to spell out Golden. Although I will say this, when you're there playing the game, you got the pressure on you, the camera's on you, everyone's watching, and you start getting a little bit flustered. Jared just has not shown yet that he's that good a competitor at Big Brother. He should be. It just hadn't happened yet. So poor Jared. Yeah, that was tough to watch. But I love the veto competition. It was cool to watch. And the other thing I was going to point out from that episode, Blue acting like she is Perry Mason, like she is just a detective, figuring things out based on all these subtle clues, and starting to realize that maybe Cirie and Jared are related and all that. Those of us who watch live feeds, we know that this stuff was laid out on a golden platter. Golden, get it? Laid out on a platter for you, Blue, by Jared. There shouldn't be a whole lot of piecing together that needs to take place, but Blue on this episode at least is figuring it all out. Now, it was in a diary room. I'm sure she got brought in at some point. I'm sure the producers are just wanting to do everything possible to get her thinking about this. So I'm sure they asked her all kinds of questions about what Jared had said. Did she believe it? What are her conclusions? And they're going to continue to ask her about this. The more they ask her, the more she'll think, the more likely that the secret gets revealed. So I think that's the case, unless they want to protect Cirie, and then they may not ask her anything ever again about it and hope it goes away. We'll find out. But Detective Blue Perry Mason is on the case. All right. Meanwhile, let's talk about Blue. We've got Cirie talking to Blue. I think this was in the storage room, saying, look, I've wanted to work with you since day one, and I think we're going to keep you, Blue, and I would love to work with you now. How sneaky would it be if the two of us worked together? Who would ever suspect that? let's make something happen. And of course, Blue loves hearing that. One, she's being told that she's going to stick around. Two, she's got probably the most powerful person in the house is saying that she wants to work with her. So yeah, Blue's working with Jared's mom. What could go wrong with that, right? But Cirie working her magic again, already developing another relationship with someone that potentially is going to stay in the house. All right, we've got Cory and America in the bathroom. Cory is saying, it was kind of rough. Cory is saying that Cirie had told him that Red had called America a bitch. And I've already talked about how much I don't like that word, and I'm not going to say it again. But yeah, Red called her the B word, and it's America not one to take those kind of comments lightly. She's ready to go find Red and get this thing shut down or called out or resolved. Those fighting words for her. I kind of don't blame her, but sometimes you gotta just kind of let stuff go inside that house. But she's ready to go after Red. Cory is trying to talk her down and say, not right now. Let's just throwing that out there, but not right now. And finally, he gets her settled down a little bit. But she says, "Red's it. If I get HOH, man, I'm going after Red." And Cory saying, "Look, you got to protect your game." And she said, "I don't care about my game right now. I'm going after Red." Now, earlier she had said that she would potentially try to break up Cirie and Felicia and Izzy. So I don't know what America would do if she got an HOH. She's got a few people that she would like to target. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Red, come on. I expect a little bit better than using that word. But I don't know what the context is. There any context that makes that appropriate? Probably not. But I don't know all the background behind it. America is reporting. Now this is interesting as well. America is telling Cory that Felicia had approached her and mentioned this all girls alliance. So she's spilling the beans to Cory. I'm sure Cory's going to keep that in mind as well. I don't think I mentioned earlier when Felicia was talking to Izzy about this all girls alliance. They had also said, not only do they have the 6 women that they want to have in this thing, but she also mentioned that Cory and Matt would probably be the last 2 guys. They'd want to hold on to them as long as possible, but then cut them loose at 7 and at 8. So just an FYI on that. But yeah, Cory is now aware of it thanks to America. All right, we've got Jag still trying to do his campaigning. Jag's running into an issue right now. When you're in the Big Brother house and you ask someone for your vote, for their vote, but they don't want to really tell you to your face that, no, you're not getting my vote. So instead, they throw out this little song and dance about, well, I'd love to vote for you to save you, but I don't want to go against the house. So if you can get everyone else's votes together first, then yes, you've got my vote. But if not, I can't promise you anything at this point in time. Very wishy-washy, but so many people say it and use it inside the Big Brother house. Well, Jag's running into that. He's talking to a lot of people who are saying, yeah, you could have my vote as long as you get everyone else's as well. So Jag thinks he's got a way around this, thanks to a suggestion that actually came from Cirie, which she may be regretting suggesting this. But Jag is saying, look, I want to pull everyone together, all of my supposed voters together, and he thinks he has 8. I want to pull all of them together so that everyone can confirm to each other that, yes, they are voting to save me. So there's none of this, only if you get the other votes. And it's kind of a great idea, I guess. If I get everyone to nod and acknowledge in front of everyone else how they're voting, then suddenly it's all done, and I don't have to have all this conversation. It's a great concept, but the reality is people aren't really waiting to see what others do. What they really are saying is that I've already decided I'm going to vote against you. I just don't want to tell you to your face, Jag. And that's what's happening here, I do believe. But Jag has decided he's going to get all these people together to get them to confirm the votes with each other. And as I mentioned, he thinks he's got 8 votes, including Jared's. I just don't see Jared voting Blue out, but we'll see. Maybe Cirie laid down the law to her son and now threatened a timeout or something if he didn't vote to send out his not girlfriend, showmance. Let's keep that separate, right? It's important to Jared. All right. America and Jag talking in the bathroom, and America's trying to bring Jag back to reality. She's saying, look, I don't think you've got the votes, Jag. I just don't. I think Cirie and Izzy are playing you. I don't trust them. I just don't think you should be trusting them either. And Jag's just not buying. Jag's saying, no, they've said, I believe them. I trust them. I'm good with the 7 deadly sins. They're good with me as long as I've got the votes. Now we're good. And America's saying, nah, you just aren't getting it, Jag. I don't think that's the case. She does tell him that yes, you've got my vote, Jag, and you probably have Corey's as well, if you've got their votes. But I don't think you got their votes, and I think she's correct. But he keeps saying, I'm going to call this meeting and get everyone to confirm it. And she says something like, all right, call your meeting. Let's see how Cirie gets out of this one, because I don't think that's the case, Jag. So Jag has decided. America's tried to talk some sense into him. Not sure it's really worked. Jag still wants to hold this meeting as well. And Corey eventually reports back to, I think, one or two of the other side that, yes, that Jag does want to have this meeting together, force everyone to kind of make a declaration of how they're going to vote together. And with that in mind, now we've got Cirie and Mecole and Felicia and Jared and Matt trying to figure out what in the world they can do to avoid going to a meeting that they absolutely don't want to go to. The last thing they want to do is have to say in front of everyone else that they're going to vote to save Jag or not to save Jag. So they're trying to figure out how they can avoid this meeting. All right, we had have-nots over. Everyone is eating way too much. Corey at one point mentioned that he had 48 pizza rolls in addition to quesadillas and everything else you could imagine. Izzy's eating so many wings that she's just burping everywhere. They're enjoying not being have-nots anymore. It was just freaking peanut butter and jelly this week, guys. It's not like you've been on the starvation diet. I would have been fine with peanut butter and jelly, but I still would have eaten. But they're certainly celebrating that have-nots are over for the week. All right, Jag turns into a little bit of a comedy situation here. Jag's trying to hold his meeting, but only Corey and America are there up in the upstairs lounge area. Corey and America are the only ones there. Jag goes to look for everyone else. But Izzy's changing clothes, getting ready for bed in the shower. Cirie is already in bed. Yeah, we know they're trying to avoid the meeting, and Jag's starting to see this as well because neither one of them is coming up. Matt does eventually show up upstairs, and then a little bit later, so does Cirie. Not intentionally. We'll talk about that in a second, but Cirie eventually shows up as well, and she's giving this little excuse of saying, "Oh, everyone else is already in bed. I didn't realize that y'all were up here waiting for us. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know." Yeah, they called bedtime early this particular evening. So yeah, she's saying, "Oh, sorry, we just didn't know." But meanwhile, Cirie and Matt are up there. Corey and America and Jag. Not so much for Izzy and Felicia or Mecole. Jag pitches the same conversation basically that he's been having with everyone throughout the day. Everyone's saying okay and seems like they're in good spirits and everything else, but really Matt and Cirie leave without really saying, "Oh yeah, you got my vote." No one really commits to anything. They just listen to his pitches. Like, okay, thank you so much. They leave. Eventually America and Corey say, yeah, you've got our vote. We'll vote to save you, Jag. But no one else does it. No one else was really in there to hear them say it either. So meeting hasn't, at least at this point in time, hasn't gone the way Jag hoped it would. Very, very nothing progress on this one. All right, later outside, we've got Cirie talking to Corey and America, and she's laughing. She said, "Yeah, I was just trying to sneak up to see Matt. I got caught up in that meeting. I wasn't coming up for the meeting. There's no way." She was just trying to grab Matt, and the two of them got pulled in as a result. So we know how this is heading, but Jag's just not seeing it. Corey is saying that Izzy had said just lie to Jag up until the very end about whether he's staying or not, but Corey and America are feeling bad about that. Cirie saying, yeah, she kind of feels bad too. America is wondering, is everyone really on board to save Blue as much as Izzy is? Or is it just Izzy? And Cirie is saying, look, I don't want to put all the blame on Izzy necessarily about this decision to send Jag out the door. But yeah, they're wondering, should they tell him? Should they not tell him? Have just feeling bad about him being so optimistic. And America says he still thinks he's got the votes after all of this. He still thinks that he's going to be saved. All right, we've got Matt coming out eventually. All right, and this is where America says, yeah, Jag still thinks he's safe. And Matt says, Jag's just trying too hard. He's playing too hard right now. Jag's game is on the line. I have full props and credits to Jag for fighting every step of the way, go down. Don't go down silently. Go down doing everything you can to try to survive. I don't think it'll work. I think this is probably the end for Jag. But I love that he's trying what he can while he can in the house. And I don't think his approach is bad. He's just not necessarily seeing the writing on the wall right now. All right, we've got Cameron. Corey and America are upstairs. They've kind of taken over Jared and Blue's love nest for the evening. So they're upstairs. Cameron comes over to join them. I'm sure they loved having Cameron show up to make that duo a trio. Cameron's saying he thinks that this thing tonight is going to be a 10-0 vote eviction to send Jag out the door. Cameron is saying, look, Jag was not really my target. I was just doing it for the house. I was doing it for Legends 25 Alliance and all. He didn't say that because Corey and America aren't part of that. But he says, I'm just doing it for the house. I don't have anything against Jag. He says, I actually like Jag. I think he's a great player. But, you know, everyone else wanted him out, and I'm happy to play along with that. Cameron is also mentioning that he was honest with Jag, and he did have a conversation with Jag and basically say, look, it's not going good for you. You're probably going home tomorrow night. So Cameron is saying, yeah, I'm not going to lie to Jag. I told him where it's at, and it is what it is. All right, we did have a quick conversation between Cameron and Matt. Feeds cut when they came back a little bit. Matt had gone into the HOH room. Talking to Cameron just real quick. Cameron's offering, saying, yeah, I know it's kind of a confusing day. Do you want me to kind of just outline everything that happened in case you didn't hear anything? And Matt saying, nah, I'm good. I understand enough. But Cameron did make the offer. He did say that it mentioned to Matt, he says, look, once I did what Legends 25 wanted, once I went along with that alliance, everything calmed down. It seems like everything's been calm since then. Maybe not so calm as you think. A lot of stuff underneath the surface there, Cameron. But Cameron's feeling like as long as he plays along with everyone else, that all is good in the Big Brother world. I think he knows. Surely he knows. He and Red have talked about it before. No matter how chill you think the house is this week, and no matter how much you feel like you've soothed things over by going with the house and Legends 25 and all that, doesn't mean that if the right or wrong people win HOH tonight, that you and Red aren't going up on the block immediately next week, and you could easily become the new house target. I just don't know if Cameron realizes just how precarious his position is right now. And with that, we'll shut it down. I think everyone in bed by 2:30 or so Big Brother time. So no one's staying up horribly late because they're prepping for they know there'll be a competition this evening. Probably not a long endurance competition. The backyard still open, which makes me think that the HOH is going to be a quick setup, questions and answers, true, false, something along those lines. People standing in a booth or some completely random throw something or whatever. I think it's going to be a quick HOH. Hopefully that means we get to watch it as part of the episode tonight, but we'll find out. But whoever wins this HOH tonight, could certainly really steer, potentially decide who the last person that doesn't make jury is, really steer the direction of the rest of this season. Red turning around after a Cameron HOH and winning would certainly spell problems for Izzy and Felicia, a few others. I'm kind of personally cheering for an America HOH. I'd love to see what America does with a little power. And would Corey end up spending a little more time in the HOH room as well? It's going to be a fun evening tonight. Unfortunately, maybe not so much fun for Jag. I think his time in the house is short-lived. We'll see. I hope that's not the case. He came in saying he just wanted to have fun. I'm sure he's had a little fun. I'm sure he's had a little stress as well. But hopefully, we'll see what happens tonight. But I think it's the end of the road for Jag. And then we'll see who wins HOH. All right, guys. Y'all have a fantastic Thursday. I will be back tomorrow morning to talk all about the HOH. And unless it's another pressure cooker, hopefully we'll know who won the thing. And then we'll figure out what's going to happen for the rest of the week going forward. Y'all have a great Thursday. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.